And as far as anyone wishing to make a victim arrest or victim impact statement, it is absolutely imperative. You talk to me. You do not talk to the defendant. If you start talking to the defendant, I will stop you. Sir, please state your name.
My name is Damu Bouchard.
Thank you, sir. I'll hear you.
I'm here to speak for my wife and I, Akiba Bouchard. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I truly worry about her and emotional and mental well-being since she lost her love of her life, my brother-in-law Terry, whom I will address as my wife called him Peeves. He was taken away so cold-blooded, cruelly, and viciously, and we feel intentionally, from her and our family. You don't run over somebody and then run back over. You know what you're doing. Terry and Lily were extremely close. Junior high school, man. They grew up in the same neighborhood and became joined in heart and spirit in junior high, helping raise one another as kids coming up, and then their supportive families. Along with raising his own family, Terry helped raise his nieces and nephews from kindergarten to college. Because he was such a kind and cool and loving guy, he bought my oldest daughter's first car. Bought a car for I could get it for her. He helped all of us. He helped my wife and I raise our granddaughters, and he came to every family. He was supportive beyond words. And he was a serious peacemaker. This wasn't no cat who went after nobody. This is a dude who went to help people. And he wasn't like me, ignorant and loud. I can get ignorant and silly. He was very cool and low-key, man. Unfortunately, we have individuals in society who don't respect, care, and or revere life. I want to repeat that. We got to respect one another and life. For them, taking their life is as easy as swatting a fly. As humans, we make choices to do right or wrong. I have done some. When you are inhumanely wrong, when you run over somebody and run back over them, you know what you're doing. I respectfully ask the court to sentence this man, this brother, this man, to the maximum. Can you dig it? We want him to do all 28. We're probably not going to go down, but we'd like it to. As I told my wife, 28 in one day.
My name is Dwight Haswell. I'm the patriarch of the Haswell family. Lillian is my youngest sister. Crystal is my niece. I watched Terry and Lillian go through high school as loved ones and partners. I watched them cultivate a life, look at society, see a need, and want to administer whatever help that was possible to help cultivate that need. Lillian, unfortunately, was subject to this tragic incident by the loss of her husband. Our whole family has suffered behind this incident. Had an individual taken one moment to calculate the consequences that would take place, none of this would have happened. Unfortunately, his vernacular architecture doesn't yield him that. And as a result, I'm trying to find and I'm trying to struggle, and the rest of my family's trying to struggle with forgiveness, because this is what we were taught. I, personally, as an individual, forgive Suge Knight. I hope that my family learns how to heal and forgive him as well. The courts are held accountable for whatever happens to this individual. And I hope you do the right thing by giving him the maximum that the courts will allow.
Good morning, Your Honor. My Uncle Terry was the best uncle anyone had. He taught me valuable advice I still use today. He stood up for me when my parents weren't coming up as they should. When they slacked, he made me feel worthy. My uncle taught me the importance of family and always wanting the best for me and my cousins. He expressed how important it was to be financially independent, and I watched how traumatizing the events had. Not even know what I was watching on TV. I saw my uncle getting brutally ran over twice. He never even got off the car to see if my uncle was okay. This has changed my family life forever. Nothing would ever be the same. Not even an apology or condolences have been made towards my family. Thank you for the course time.
Good morning, Your Honor. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. The very first and prevailing question I initially had regarding this incident was intentional, accidental. The question has played over in my mind hundreds and thousands of times since my dad's death. The truth is that I wasn't there, and I would never know the exact chains of events that occurred. But what I do know is the defendant's actions after the fact. Say that you feared for your life, and that you stated that it was an accident. Well, a moment of decision precedes all crimes. What sets this gruesome murder apart from an accidental hit or run is the decisions that came after the damage was done. Your actions after you callously murdered my dad in cold blood were calculating and deplorable and reflective of a lack of moral character and no respect for human lives. Those of a low-life thug, career-minded criminal, three-striker with a reputation of being a murderer. What I do know is that your unrepentant, remorseful, callous, unashamed actions took my dad's life away. Then to add insult to injury, you proceeded to try and defame my dad's character by making nonsensical statements. Then proceeded to sell a video to TMZ, which he negotiated for crumbs, showing the last minutes of my dad's life for the whole world to see. Although the defendant made statements that he's the victim, which I heard in this courtroom, he is not the victim. My mother, me, my sister, my family members, friends, associates, and entire community are the victims and are experiencing a deep loss because of this actions. No wife, child, grandchild, niece, nephew, godchild, or any family member wants to see their loved one being killed. But then the attempts to take no responsibility and cover up actions have been extremely disrespectful to my dad, Terry Carter, and to my family as well. He murdered my dad in cold blood, and he is a menace to society. And I feel that he deserves to spend the rest of his life in jail. My family has been unjustly sentenced to life without our loving, caring husband, dad, uncle, friend, and associate, without being able to see him, visit him, or hug him, which is the worst fate that we could ever imagine.
I definitely want to thank Cynthia. She pursued this case with the utmost due diligence to bring us here today. We're all truly grateful. Whether the act was accidental or intentional, it was not the way I could ever have prepared for burying my father. I definitely knew I was going to have to eventually bury my dad one day, but not like this. We all get many people in our lives. We move from job to job. We have different coworkers. We have uncles, aunts, cousins. We have sisters and brothers. Just you only get one dad. My dad is gone. My children's grandfather is gone. My dad's life ended because a defendant and an employee of Universal Pictures, two grown men in their 50s, had a fight in broad daylight. I still can't believe it. Unfortunately for me, I could see it. And I did see it thanks to the defendant, his son's mother, and TMZ. We've been here 93 times. Make this 94 court dates that we have had to endure. The complete disregard and lack of compassion by all involved in this case. From his son's mother's actions, his business partners, his attorneys, his investigators, the TV1 producers, TMZ employees, the media, these headlines, these cameras, all this matters. And yet and still, always missing the true reason why we are here. A man died. My dad died. Terry Carter died. Who cares about the defendant and what he's done? I never even paid attention to him until the day I was on the phone with my dad in 2014. And he told me he was working with the defendant. My reaction was, why are you working with him? Nothing good can come out of that. He said he cool. We working on his life story. It's a story that people will pay attention to. The irony of that conversation is that my dad became the biggest part of your life story. I do have one request from you, the defendant. I'd like to hear exactly what happened, what was said in those last 5 minutes of my dad's life. If it can't be in court today, then I'll make sure I'll come visit you when time permits. Now, when I walk off this courtroom today, I'm gonna leave all the anger, all the sadness, all the frustration, and the anguish all right here. I'm walking off this courtroom as Terry Carter's daughter, which means I got work to do.
Thanks for watching StreetGangs.com. Please like and share the video you just watched and leave a comment below to tell us what you think. You can also watch 2 of our previous episodes to the right. Please visit the link to our Patreon page and support our campaign. And don't forget to subscribe.